got the game set up, the initial thing of a Vanguard is, the standard is, you take your right deck, you search for your starting Vanguard. Your starting Vanguard has to be a grade 0.
Okay.
It doesn't have to be normal, but yeah, it has to be a grade 0. So you take this and you place it face down on the Vanguard circle. And then you put the rest of the cards back in the right deck. Next is you would then be able to draw a opening hand of 5 cards. Well, you don't have five cards, and you determine whether or not you'll keep it, because in each game you have one opportunity to perform mulligan. Mulligan in Vanguard, in standard at least, is to take any amount of cards from your hand. So, for example, in this case, I'll take 2 cards from my hand, and I'll put them on the bottom of my deck. Then I'll draw equal to the amount of cards I put there. So, as I return 2, I'll draw 2 cards. After drawing 2 cards, after drawing, I will immediately shuffle my deck. I have my opponent. He's already fully set up. It is mulligan. So, we're all good. Like that. And to the flavor of the game, both players starting Vanguards are put face down, and a game is initiated by turning them face up. And in the anime, they would usually start with the phrase "Stand Up Vanguard," which is actually done in certain sanctioned tournaments. Where they usually start a tournament with this that. So we have an interesting start of game thing. So as soon as you put your Vanguard face up, the game begins. For the demonstration purposes, I will be going first.
Okay.
So going over the phases, the start of the turn begins with the standard draw phase. So for those familiar with Magic, the cards normally have 2 states, which are their tap position and untap. In Vanguard, that is at rest and stand. Yu-Gi-Oh has this as attack and defense position, but they work completely different, so it's not fair.
That's a different story.
So it doesn't work. So any cards that are currently at rest on your field will be put in the stand position, so they'll be ready for combat at the start. And then you will also draw for your turn. So now I'll have a hand of 6 cards, and then we'll proceed to the next phase, which is known as the ride phase. So you'll notice my Vanguard is still is a grade 0, which, as you mentioned, that means that it is a pretty weak card. It is a representation of me. It's not that good. It's not a good look. So we'll be proceeding to get stronger. So a ride phase is your opportunity to do so. So you can choose any card from your hand with grade equal or 1 grade higher than your Vanguard and ride it. And as a special thing in standard is you have also the option to ride from your ride deck instead. To ride from your ride deck, you must discard any card from your hand. So choosing a card from your hand, putting it into the drop zone. As I mentioned, this is your discard pile or your graveyard. And then you will choose a card from your ride deck, following the same rule of either equal or 1 grade higher than your Vanguard. Then you'll put it on top to signify ride. Now I have a new Vanguard. Now my Vanguard is grade 1. And we can proceed.
So kind of like it's basically, in a way, stacking.
Yes, we're stacking and we're wrapping up. So now I'm slightly stronger than I was earlier. This is my representation, and we get to move on to the next phase, which is the main phase. During the main phase, we can do all sorts of different actions, such as playing new cards, moving our cards around the field within reason. So the first thing I'm going to be able to show you is the call action, which is the ability to play a unit card from your hand onto the field. Now the main rule of calling is you can only call cards of equal or grade less than your Vanguard. So you cannot call units that are stronger than your representative.
Okay.
So for example, I will call it over to any of the 5 regards. I'll call it here. So this is a grade 1, which is what I'm allowed to do, because I can only call grade 1s or 0s at this time. So I call the grade 1 on the field over here, and it can then perform it in grade actions. In terms of card effects on my field, there are 3 primary kinds of card effects in Vanguard. The first type is the apt or activatable card effects. These can only be used during the main phase, and they usually have a cost associated. You declare the effect, you pay the cost, and the effect resolves. Any other rules are dependent on the skill. Next type is the automated or automatic abilities, auto abilities, which are triggered effects. When you meet the condition, the effect will result, as long as you choose to. And the last kind is the continuous effect, or con, which are effects that will always be active.
Yeah.
So after the main phase, we can then move on. Yeah, we can then move on to what is known as the battle phase. Battle phase is when you'll get the attack. The only thing is, since I'm playing the first turn of the game, I'm not allowed to take my battle phase. And I'll immediately skip this and proceed to my end phase, where end of turn effect resolve. Then it will proceed to my opponent's turn, so they'll begin.
I stand, and I draw, and I would like to discard a card, and I would like to right there. Then since I rolled second, auto ability triggers, and let me see. If I roll second, I get to draw a card. I'm going to draw a card. And same as last turn, I can also pull a card from my hand. Grade equal or less than my Vanguard, so I would like to pull one. And I guess that's it. And I will proceed to main phase. That's done, and I proceed to battle phase.
Okay.
Then battle phase, I can choose to attack first with my Vanguard or my rear guard.
During for attacks, the cards that are the primary focus of combat are the cards in the front row. So the cards in front are the ones that will be attacking and the ones that can be attacked. So under normal circumstances.
And the ones in the back are basically your defensive line.
No, the ones in the back are your support.
Supports.
With attack.
Yeah, see the attacks.
Okay, by resting my Vanguard,
Okay.
I'd like to attack this Vanguard as well.
So yeah, when you
So
attack,
you have to tap in order to
yeah,
attack.
you tap a unit to declare the attack. Then you choose the target from the opponent's front row.
Okay.
And so his target is my Vanguard. So this means if I am going to let's attack through and it hits my Vanguard, we'll be taking damage. So for this scenario, I will choose not to guard because I have the option
To defend or
to
not,
play
something like that.
my guardians right now or
Yes.
not. But I will choose not to. So then we'll proceed to the down to once the attack resolving.
Yes.
However, since this is the Vanguard attacking, there's one extra step, which is known as the drive check. Whenever a Vanguard attacks, they will be performing drive checks, where they will be revealing the top card of their deck to look for a trigger. If they get it, and also it'll also move to their hand for later use. So it's sort of an extra draw as well as a mechanic for you. And this is where the luck aspect of Vanguard comes in, is whether he gets lucky on the check. So go ahead and perform your drive check because I'm not guarding.
Check one.
Okay, so that's a grade 2. There's no. You look at the top right corner and there's no trigger.
Okay.
So that means there's no trigger. It will immediately go then to his hand for later use. It's an extra draw, and the attack moves on to place where it fully resolves in my Vanguard case again. Because his power is 8,000, which is equal to my Vanguard, which also is 8,000. The attack ends. Anytime my power is higher than his, then the attack will not resolve. So it hits as long as it's equal or greater. The attack ends. So next, my Vanguard is not yet. Since it's my Vanguard, I'll be taking damage, revealing the top card of my deck. This is also not a trigger. And I'll be moving to my damage zone face up. That'll become relevant later.
So essentially right now you took 1 damage?
Yes, I have 1 damage.
Okay.
Then it moves to his.
Then my second attack, my rear guard attacks his rear guard.
Yes. Now, I'll also let this through for this purposes. So when a rear guard is hit this time,
Okay.
instead of I don't take damage, but instead this will be retired or destroyed. Put into my top.
And proceed to end my turn.
Since he has no more units that can attack, there's not much else he can do except end his turn. So it proceeds to his end phase, and the end phase effect trigger, and it moves on to my turn. Where I'll begin.
And more or less it stays in like the tap position. Right?
Yes. So, start my turn. I draw, stand for the units, Then I can choose to ride. I'll be riding. Onto my grade 2. Thanks to that, I'm a little bit stronger, and I'll call another unit. Another.
But question though, what if you want to run on your hand? A grade 1 again, can that be allowed?
Yes, it is allowed. Though normally you want to advance the unit. But it is, there are applications where you could actually do that. So next, I'll be putting my metal phase. We'll get to attack. This is 10,000 power onto your Vanguard.
I choose to no guard.
Okay. We're just taking hits here.
Yeah.
You know, guard for example, but dude, you don't have to play.
No, I mean like.
This is a sample. This is a sample game.
I choose to guard. I want to pass.
Okay. Okay, so yeah, you said one to pass. We're not playing optimally where we're playing control people.
Okay, I'm guarding. I choose to guard.
Okay, so he's guarding with a grade 1, which has a shield value. I didn't show the shield value earlier, but actually it's now. On the left side of certain cards, there's a value here.
Kind of like defensive points in a way.
Yeah, so when you play a guardian, it will add to the defense of the unit being attacked. So this 5,000, additional to the 8,000, which is 13,000. 13,000 defensive power to my 10,000 offensive. Yeah, that's correct. So yeah, so then this attack will not get.
Okay.
So, but since my Vanguard attack, I still get to perform a dodge. So I'll reveal top part of my deck. Just check for a trigger. And there we go. And this is.
Oh my god!
Okay, and this is a critical trigger. So I can distribute the trigger effects by resolving. So resolving the critical trigger, there's 2 effects that I get to distribute. First of all is a 10,000 power increase to any of my units, and then a +1 critical to any of my units. So first I'll be putting the 10,000 on my Vanguard, putting the power up to 20,000, which will then allow it to surpass the 13,000 defense. Only if the attack does hit. Then I'll put the critical on my Vanguard as well, which increases my critical to 2. And as I mentioned earlier, this will cause it to take an additional damage when it hits the Vanguard. So this is a very lucky trigger. So the
Told you I will luck sack.
Then this is then we place it in my hand, and he'll perform with his damage check.
Damage trigger check.
The guard is retired.
Then damage trigger check. 1. Also damage 1. 2. Critical trigger.
Triggers also activate during damage checks, so he'll get the result.
I give power to my Vanguard. And critical.
So now, I proceed to my next thing, where I still have a unit that can attack, but it only has 10,000 power, and his defense power of his Vanguard is now at 18,000, which means he cannot hit. So there's only one target for me to attack, that's his rear guard. Attacking the rear guard.
I choose to guard said rear guard.
Yes, so unlike with calling units to rear guard circles, grade is not important for guard.
Okay.
You can call a guard to guard circle. Okay. Then, because my turn ends, any additional power is lost from triggers, and he's back to the base, and this is his turn where he can begin with his stand. So he begins with standing his units, and he has
Skirting a card. Right.
I have a small clarification.
Yes.
What if you run out of riders?
in the rider.
Yeah.
Basically, you'll have already reached grade 3, which is basically where the game is set to truly begin. It's when everyone has access to more or less their rider.
Gotcha. Basically, the higher the level, the more like
Stuff
access. Yeah, it's more stuff you can do.
Yes.
Okay, proceeding. Trigger Sylvanhorn Beast Charis's skill. With Sylvanhorn Beast Lattice's skill, when rolled upon by Lattice, I can reveal a top card of my deck if it's a grade 2 or less. Unit, I can call it the back row. I can rear guard, if it isn't, I will add it to hand. Revealing, it is a unit. and it's a grade 2 or less, I can call it a rear guard. I choose to call it tier 3.
Oh yeah, so if for anyone who is already familiar with the game and the deck I'm using, yes, I did misplay. I did actually forget to activate my grade 1's effect, but don't worry about it.
I would like to activate one of my, going to main phase, I would like to activate my hack skill, which is Knight of Friendship Cyrus' skill. By soul blasting 2 cards, it's a once per turn. By soul blasting 2 cards, I can reveal the top card of my deck. If it's a unit card, I can call it R, and if it isn't, I can put it in my hand. And it is a unit, and I can call it the rear guard. Then I have the option to swap rear guards, if possible.
Yes, cards in the same column cards can move within the same column, but not within the row. So you can only do a vertical movement between forward and back, but not to the side. That's not a thing.
Okay, now I proceed to battle phase. 7 attack, your Vanguard, 10.
And with that, I will guard with a 15,000 shield, putting on my power of 25,000. Which means even with the trigger, you will not hit.
Unless a miracle happens. Revealing card, the heal trigger.
Oh, it's actually another trigger that we can expect.
Okay. First, I will distribute the power to this rear guard. Then, since my damage is greater than his, equal or higher, you get the 1.
Yes, so heal triggers only activate if your damage is equal to or higher than your opponent's.
So you can basically you can reduce your damage in a sense.
Yes. But if you're just using heal triggers are limited at 4 per deck. So you only have 4 opportunities. Assuming you check. The attack does not hit, and my guardian attacks.
Proceeding to the next attack. Attacking for 18. Alright, with an attack, with a boost.
Okay, explaining boosts. Grade 1 and grade 0s have the boost ability, which allow them to rest from the back row to add their power to an attacker in the front row.
Basically that symbol right there.
Yes, so when the unit in front of them attacks, you have then the choice to activate the boost, where you will rest the unit with the boost ability behind them, and their powers added together. So that's 8,000 power. 18,000 power.
This 18,000 power, let's not his Vanguard.
I will not guard that, so I'll perform a damage check. It's a heal trigger. This allows me to add 10,000 power to a unit.
Is that scripted now?
And then I get to heal my damage.
The heal trigger is a paid actor.
In this case,
And essentially like these types of I guess what's the proper term for these kinds of cards?
there's markers.
Markers.
Including those other ones earlier, right? Those are also
Yeah, those are own like prep rolls, but they don't come with sealed product or
I
anything.
see. And even those tokens.
Those tokens actually came with one of the sealed products. So
Okay.
Tridexter, Chrono Jet. Feeding to the third attack. This attacks 20.
that's 20,000.
Yes.
So I'll be guarding that. Then my
I battle ended.
Okay, so I have to draw, discard, oops, right into blasting. Don't worry about it. Moving on, we will get to proceed and call 2 names.
Going all in.
Say, the Katayas effect of Brooks is because I have 3 or more grade 3 units, that is my Vanguard, there's 3. He gets additional 5,000 power in boost.
No, we're done with the cards.
Okay,
Yung mga moldy yun.
and we shall begin the battle phase. Romana attacks. Sorry, this is 15,000. This is Bastion's Katayas effect. All my grade 3 units have additional 2,000 power.
I choose to no guard, revealing no trigger.
Next, Fancy attacks.
I choose to guard.
From a twin drive. First check, a grade 3. Second check, grade 1. Okay, advancing effect is since I revealed a grade 3 during my drive checks, I can actually single by discarding a card from my hand. I get the standing unit and add 10,000 power to it. Okay, proceeding on. Romana attacks again for 20,000 power. Now, as you noticed, because the unit's still during the battle phase, it can actually attack again.
Okay.
It's sort of how it goes. As long as the unit is still established, it can attack.
I proceed to. How much is that?
23. 25.
I choose no guard, no trigger.
Then, with a boost from Rooks, Reflect attacks, is 30.
I choose to perfect guard.
Okay, so Sentinel attack. So this actually has the Sentinel Continuous. Sentinel Continuous simply is a deck building restriction such that you can only have 4 Sentinels in your deck. The effect of this is when it's placed on the Guardian Circle, he can discard a card from his hand so that the attack will not hit, regardless of power. So it's a successful guard. And that's my turn.
I stand. Draw. By discarding a card, I write my grade.
So give or take, basically, it's important to have something in your hand at all times. Because if you don't have any card in your hand, then you're practically screwed.
Take damage. Over trigger. You survive.
You can just rely on damage check. This is like I will be doing.
Okay.
Like then I will like call. Okay. I would like to proceed. Battle. I attack for 13 to your Vanguard, triggering his skill. Like after dusting 1, I can choose a back row rear guard with 5,000 power and you can attack from the back row.
Using card effects, you can get effects that bypass the normal rules of the game. Such as I mentioned, the ones that attack are front row units. Due to this effect, that a unit can attack from the back row.
Proceeding for 13 to your Vanguard.
No guard.
No guard. Twin drive, first check.
Wait, stop. I forgot to explain that. Grade 3s have the special ability Twin Drive, as I performed earlier. When you perform a drive check, you perform 2 instead.
Okay.
So, continue. That's what I did earlier.
First check. The front trigger.
Oh. We're going through each of the triggers. The drop trigger.
Yeah, the front trigger.
So the effect of a front trigger is?
The effect of the front trigger is gives plus 9,000 power to the front row units.
So unlike the others, you don't get to choose where the front trigger goes. It will always just give 10,000 to all your units.
Gotcha.
Okay. Second check. No trigger.
Now I'll take the hit.
Trigger. Okay. Then my back row lattice attacks. Triggering his skill. When this unit attacks with Vanguard, I can soul blast 1. And this unit gets plus 10,000 power until end of turn.
Alright.
So this attacks for 10, 20, 25.
Okay, I'll be taking the hit. It's a heal trigger. Now, the only thing is when I revealed it, it has 3 dabs and I have 2. This means my heal does not go off. It does not activate, but I do still get the 10,000 power, which I can activate.
Next attack swings you for 28.
Right?
Uh-oh.
This is it.
And the last attack will hit you for 28 with his skill, since I have 4 or more rear guards now.
Why is it a thing? Oh yeah.
Then it gains plus 5,000 power. That's now at 33.
Take the last hit. Oh, finally, it's a draw trick. And the 10,000 power to my Vanguard, and I draw a card. Yes, the draw trigger lets you draw a
Oh,
card.
it's a continuous. So it's a forever 15k. Less I get lowered by 1.
So now I'm at 5 damage, which means it only takes 1 more damage for me to lose, which means he wasn't able to finish me off that turn. Right? So I stab and draw. Okay. I don't have it set. Anyway, that's it for you. Anyway, on my turn, I'll call Brooks and Vitug. Activating Vitug skill, I get put into my soul. 10,000 power to one of my grade 3 vehicles. I'll give it to Rivera. This Rooks has the same effect. Okay, Romana is actually Vanguard activating the ability like Counterblast. So he did it earlier, but to explain a Counterblast, there are two primary costs which we use a lot, which are Counterblast and Soul Blasts. So when you would Counterblast, you would take a face-up card from your damage zone and turn it face down. This is the big cost. So you actually have a limited number of Counterblasts per game because you can only have so much damage. And when they turn face up, they can't be used. So by paying the cost, she gets additional 5,000 power when attacked. So that's now 28. After Soul, all cards under your Vanguard that have been accumulating are Soul. When you would Soul Blast, you would take part of your Soul and put it into your graveyard
Discard card.
or your drop zone and to play the cost. We've been doing it earlier, so there's no cards. So anyway, this is 28, goes to his Vanguard.
Would like the guard and intercept.
Okay, intercept. Grade 2s have the ability to intercept. When they're in the control, they can move to the guard. They can move to the guard. So it's very straightforward. Extra shield. Alright, next is an attack from my Vanguard. This is actually a quick stone shield. Anyway, it's fine. So 15 plus 30,000.
I do not guard.
Performing Twin Drive. My first check. Critical trigger. Adding the critical to my Vanguard. And the power to the cloak.
Power of French.
Now I need a grade 3. It's a grade 3.
Performing 2 damage checks. First damage, 2, 3. Second damage, a draw trigger. Power to my Vanguard and I draw 1.
As we've seen before, I am allowed, since I draw trigger grade 3, I can discard a card from my hand and stand on my units and give them additional 10,000 power.
Any other?
Oh wait, this is my turn. So this is 33. And then Counterblast counter additional plus 5. Sorry, it's not, this is 33 5. So it's now 40,000, sorry. 40,000 to your Vanguard. Which is your Vanguard should get 23.
I choose no guard. Revealing the damage. Ooh, not a heal trigger, I get to draw.
Well, that's we actually managed to go full game.
Now 1 crit.
So even if it is like face down, it still counts as 1 damage.